Hey guys, it works. I am actually live. And I don't need to scream at anybody right now, which is pretty good. Oh, that's much better. I've been putting the lamp and the microphone in the wrong places this whole time. Oh dear. Are we back? Did we go away? It's all a bit metaphysical. I'm gonna try and prop this up more. Without actually letting it fall. Hey, how you doing? I have way too much blush on because I dropped some liquid blush onto the couch and then I just used my hands to apply it from the couch to my face. Better than a sponge. I didn't put my face right on the couch, so I still think I'm staying ahead of the game in some way. Ay, caramba. Okay. Well, you should have food, darling. It's quite a mood. Yeah, really is. I did my eyes for you guys. I joined up the wings, which they say you should never do, but I kind of want to look a bit more like an owl. Cute. God, my hair looks like shit. So fried. Anyway. I've been having some pretty major mood swings lately, so if I just suddenly go, fuck it, I hate you guys, at the end of the video, don't be offended. I've always hated you. I will just, be saying it out loud, which could be a bit rough on you guys, but the deep of my heart, I've always hated all of you. Okay, so the recap. And we need a recap because I read the wrong chapter 3 times. Twice. There was a party celebrating Madame Beck with a play that Lucy was in, playing a guy trying to woo Ginevra Fanshawe, and they flirted so hard they changed the course of the play. And then there was a ball. Pretty good. No, what do you want? Fucking hell. Do you want to go outside, my love? There you go. It's not a goddamn fun restaurant. There was a ball with the girls from the school and the teachers and some boys from the school across the road, but they just had to kind of stay in their area, like sheep on an agricultural day. Like they weren't actually allowed to roam, interact. Also, Monsieur Paul, who teaches something or other, was the one who talked Lucy into taking the role in the play. And then Lucy finds out that Isidore, the guy that Ginevra's been exchanging love letters with, is Dr. John. It was funny. It was really good. And Lucy's like, how could you be in love with that guy. He's the most amazing guy in the whole world. Ginevra's like, oh, yeah, but he's bourgeois. I couldn't be the wife of a bourgeois. And Lucy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I live in penury. I have nothing. I have no one. And that man is an Adonis. And Ginevra's like, sucks to be you, probably. The other guy she's in love with is like he's pretty like a doll, Lucy says. Not the kind of man she admires. So she is pretty horrified that Dr. John has such terrible taste. Yep. So at the end of the last chapter, do not be sorrowful, do not grieve, I broke out. If there is in Ginevra one spark of worthiness of your affection, she must feel devotion in return. Be cheerful, be hopeful, Dr. John. Who should hope if not you? Basically, you are like so hot. If she's not a total dummy, she'll marry you. In return for this speech, I got what it must be supposed I deserved, a look of some surprise. I thought also of some disapprobation. We parted, and I went into the house very chill. Very chill. The clock struck and the bells told midnight. People were leaving fast. The fete was over. The lamps were fading. In another hour, all the dwelling house and all the pensionnat were dark and hushed. I too was in bed, but not asleep. To me, it was not easy to sleep after a day of such excitement. That was the end of the last chapter. And this chapter is one we haven't read before. I don't know if that's what you guys like or whatever. But that's what we've come to, uncharted territory. Sorry. Right. Villette, chapter 15. The Long Vacation. Following Madame Beck's fete, with its 3 preceding weeks of relaxation, its brief 12 hours burst of hilarity and dissipation, and its one subsequent day of utter languor, came a period of reaction. 2 months of real application, of close, hard study. These 2 months, being the last of the année scolaire, or school year, were indeed the only genuine working months in the year. To them was procrastinated, into them concentrated, alike by professors, mistresses, and pupils, the main burden of preparation for the examinations preceding the distribution of prizes. Candidates for awards had then to work in good earnest. Masters and teachers had to set their shoulders to the wheel to urge on the backward and diligently aid and train the more promising. A showy demonstration, a telling exhibition must be got up for public view, and all means were fair to this end. I love the description of examination day. It's like teaching a horse to do arithmetic. Well, it certainly already has an ending. You should definitely rewrite it. I can't because I have no attention span, but just randomly put in "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi" and then have a footnote that says, "Oh, the girls in the class were really excited about exams," and you'll be good. You'll be golden. Oh, hello. Couple more people. This is chapter 15, The Long Vacation, and they're talking about the exams at the end of the year. Everyone procrastinates, so they go hard for 2 months. I scarcely noted how the other teachers went to work. I had my own business to mind, and my task was not the least onerous, being to imbue some 90 sets of brains with a due tincture of what they considered a complicated and difficult science, that of the English language, and to drill 90 tongues in what for them was an almost impossible pronunciation, the lisping and hissing dentals of the Isles. The examination day arrived. Awful day, prepared for with anxious care, dressed for with silent dispatch. Nothing vaporous or fluttering now. No white gauze or azure streamers. The grave, close, and compact was the order of the toilette. It seemed to me that I was this day especially doomed, the main burden and trial falling on me alone of all the female teachers. The others were not expected to examine in the studies they taught. The professor of literature, Monsieur Paul, taking upon himself this duty. He, this school autocrat, gathered all and sundry reins into the hollow of his one hand. He irefully rejected any colleague. He would not have help. Madame herself, who evidently rather wished to undertake the examination in geography, her favourite study, which she taught well, was forced to succumb and be subordinate to her despotic kinsman's direction. Why? Why does he want to invigilate every exam? The whole staff of instructors, male and female, he set aside and stood on the examiner's estrade alone. Oh, okay, he's not just invigilating, he's like asking questions. Okay. So he really loves asking basically ignorant teenage girls questions and having them get them wrong. Not a good look, my dude. He's got a power trip, absolutely. I mean, if he's cowing Madame Beck, I mean, bloody hell. It irked him that he was forced to make one exception to this rule. He could not manage English. He was obliged to leave that branch of education in the English teacher's hands, which he did, not without a flash of naive jealousy. Yep, just this one guy with unlimited power in a girls' finishing school. A constant crusade against the amour propre of every human being but himself was the crotchet of this able but fiery and grasping little man. It's a crusade against other people's self-esteem, basically. He had a strong relish for public representation in his own person, but an extreme abhorrence of the like display in any other. He quelled, he kept down where he could, and where he could not, he fumed like a bottled storm. Oh, they have the tall poppy syndrome in Villette, but it's just one guy. On the evening preceding the examination day, I was walking in the garden, as were the other teachers and all the boarders. Monsieur Emmanuel, it's Monsieur Paul, his name is Paul Emmanuel. Monsieur Emmanuel joined me in the allée défendue, the forbidden alley. His cigar was at its lips, his paletot over thing, a most characteristic garment of no particular shape, hung dark and menacing. The tassel of his bonnet grec, Greek hat, sternly shadowed his left temple. His black whiskers curled like those of a wrathful cat. His blue eye had a cloud in its glitter. Ainsi, he began, abruptly fronting and arresting me. Vous allez trôner comme une reine. Demain, trônez à mes côtés. Sans doute vous savourez d'avance les délices de l'autorité. Je crois voir en vous je ne sais quoi de rayonnante. Petite ambitieuse. It's so mean. Okay, hang on. I'm going to look it up and do it properly for you. It's okay to be vague, but when there are burns, I want it to be, very clear. So, you are going to be enthroned like a queen. Tomorrow you'll be on a throne beside me. Undoubtedly, you are relishing in advance the delights of authority. I believe I discern in you some sort of radiance, you ambitious little creature. My goodness. It's like an incredible neg. By the way, you look radiant, but here's why. Because you're ambitious, you're a bitch, you think you're a queen just because you're doing the exams with me. Now, the fact was, he happened to be entirely mistaken. I could not, estimate the admiration or the good opinion of tomorrow's audience at the same rate he did. Had that audience numbered as many personal friends and acquaintance for me as for him, I know not how it might have been. I speak of the case as it stood. Oh, she's such a bitch. She's like, well, he really needs them to love him and think he's important. Me, I'm just not made that way. I'm not a clout chaser. I don't really care if people know what I'm doing. Oh, they're meeting each other right now. Except I think she's just bitchy in her head mostly. On me, school triumphs shed but a cold luster. I had wondered, and I wondered now, how it was that for him they seemed to shine as with half warmth and half glow. He cared for them perhaps too much, I probably too little. Oh, it's so cool to care, to not to care at all. Glowing with radiance. However, I had my own fancies as well as he. I liked, for instance, to see Monsieur Emmanuel jealous. It lit up his nature and woke his spirit. It threw all sorts of queer lights and shadows over his dun face and into his violet azure eyes. He used to say that his black hair and blue eyes were une de ses beautés, his one beauty, basically, like Joe March's hair. There was a relish in his anger. It was artless, earnest, quite unreasonable, but never hypocritical. I uttered no disclaimer then of the complacency he attributed to me. I merely asked where the English examination was to come in, whether at the commencement or close of the day. I hesitate, said he, whether at the very beginning, before many persons are come, and when your aspiring nature will not be gratified by a large audience, or quite at the close, when everybody is tired, and only a jaded and worn-out attention will be at your service. Meow, ladies. Oh, that's misogynistic. Sorry, I did a misogyny. Que vous êtes deux, monsieur, said I, affecting dejection. Oh, you are hard, sir, but I mean that in a way that you are stern and strict with me, not in a hilarious way. One ought to be dur with you. Oh, one ought to be hard with you, Miss Lucy. Monsieur Paul, you are one of those beings who must be kept down. I know you. I know you. Other people in this house see you pass and think that a colourless shadow has gone by. As for me, I scrutinized your face once, and it sufficed. Not in a Chaktinga way. Welcome. Welcome. We're on chapter 15. It's exams. You are satisfied that you understand me, says Lucy. Without answering directly, he went on, were you not gratified when you succeeded in that vaudeville? I watched you, and saw a passionate ardour for triumph in your physiognomy. What fire shot into the glance? Not mere light, but flame. Je me tins pour averti. Je me tins pour averti. Tain. I don't know that one. Ah, I took warning from that. Hey, Josh, welcome. It's not, super late. I don't start till 10 minutes in. It's basically exam time. And Monsieur Paul is very upset that Lucy is going to be one of the examiners because he can't do English. He does all the other subjects. And he likes to keep her down, do the tall poppy thing on her, nag her all the time. And she likes to tease him because she thinks it's funny when he gets mad. So